Good morning everyone. Basa tayo ng Bible guys. Deuteronomy 17, 18, and 19 and Mark chapter 13 verse 1 to 20. Pero may nakaligtaan akong kahapon dalawang verses guys. Basahin ko muna sa inyo una ha. Yung chapter 16 ng Deuteronomy kahapon verse 21 to 22. Worshipping other gods. Basahin ko lang guys, pero nailagay ko na ito sa comment section kahapon. Do not set up any wooden Asherah pole beside the altar you build to the Lord your God, and do not erect a sacred stone, for this the Lord your God hates. Ayun, okay na yun. Balik na tayo sa topic natin. Chapter 17, 18, and 19 ng Deuteronomy. Basa. Do not sacrifice to the Lord your God an ox or a sheep that has any defect or flaw in it, for that would be detestable to him. If a man or woman living among you in one of the towns the Lord gives you is found doing evil in the eyes of the Lord your God in violation of his covenant, and contrary to my command has worshipped other gods, bowing down to them or to the sun or the moon or the stars of the sky, and this has been brought to your attention, then you must investigate it thoroughly. If it is true, and it has been proved that this detestable thing has been done in Israel, take the man or woman who has done this evil deed to your city gate, and stone that person to death. Yan, kapag sumamba kayo ng ibang Diyos, babatuhin kayo hanggang sa mamatay. On the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses man shall be put to death, but no one shall be put to death on the testimony of only one witness. Pero kung isa lang ang witness guys, hindi kayo papatayin. Kailangan yung witness dalawa or more than dalawa. The hands of the witnesses must be the first in putting him to death, and then the hands of all the people. You must purge the evil from among you. Law courts. If cases come before your courts that are too difficult for you to judge, whether bloodshed, lawsuits, or assaults, take them to the place the Lord your God will choose. Go to the priests who are Levites, and to the judge who is in office at the time. Inquire of them, and they will give you the verdict. You must act according to the decisions they give you at the place the Lord will choose. So, sabi na sa inyo guys yung mga pare nung araw, pwede rin silang judge. Ang daming ng pare, ang daming yung obligation ng pare nung araw. Ang daming responsibility na nakaatang sa kanila. Sabi ko sa inyo doktor na sila, judge na sila, tapos sila pa yung nag-offering ng mga sacrifices. Be careful to do everything they direct you to. Be careful to do everything they direct you to do. Act according to the law they teach you and the decisions they give you. Do not turn aside from what they tell you to the right or to the left. The man who shows contempt for the judge or for the priest who stands ministering there to the Lord your God must be put to death. You must purge the evil from Israel. All the people will hear and be afraid and will not be contemptuous again. The king. When you enter the land the Lord your God is giving you, and have taken possession of it and settled in it, and you say, let us set a king over us like all the nations around us. So mga nung araw guys, ang namumuno is king. Be sure to appoint over you the king the Lord your God chooses. Nakalagay guys, be sure, sa verse 15, be sure to appoint over you the king the Lord your God chooses. So, pinili pa rin siya ng Diyos yung king. He must be from among your own brothers. Do not place a foreigner over you, one who is not a brother Israelite. So, kailangan hindi siya foreigner. Kailangan Israelite pa rin siya. The king moreover must not acquire great numbers of horses for himself, or make the people return to Egypt to get more of them. For the Lord has told you, you are not to go back that way again. He must not take many wives. Kasi ang dami kasi talaga asawa ng mga king. He must not take many wives, or his heart will be led astray. He must not accumulate large amounts of silver and gold. When he takes the throne of his kingdom, he is to write for himself on a scroll a copy of this law, taken from that of the priests who are Levites. It is to be with him, and he is to read it all the days of his life, so that he may learn to revere the Lord his God and follow carefully all the words of his law and his decrees, and not consider himself better than his brothers, and turn from the law to the right or to the left. Then he and his descendants will reign long time over his kingdom in Israel. Sa chapter 18 na tayo guys, offerings for priests and Levites. The priests who are Levites, indeed the whole tribe of Levi, are to have no allotment or inheritance with Israel. They shall live on the offerings made to the Lord by fire, for that it is their inheritance. They shall have no inheritance among their brothers. The Lord is their inheritance as he promised them. This is the share due the priest from the people who sacrifice a bull or a sheep. The shoulder, the jaws, and the inner parts, you are to give them the first fruits of your grain and new wine and oil, and the first wool from the shearing of your sheep. For the Lord your God has chosen them and their descendants out of your tribes to stand and minister in the Lord's name always. If a Levite moves from one of your towns anywhere in Israel where he is living, and comes in all earnestness to the place the Lord will choose, he may minister in the name of the Lord his God, like all his field of Levites who serve there in the presence of the Lord. He is to share equally in their benefits, even though he has received money from the sale of family possessions. Detestable practices. When you enter the land the Lord your God is giving you, do not learn to imitate the detestable ways of the nations there. Let no one be found among you who sacrifices his son or daughter in the fire, who practices divination or sorcery, interprets omens, engages in witchcraft, or casts spells, or who is medium or spiritist, or who consults the dead. So, bawal pala yun. Anyone who does these things is detestable to the Lord. Diba, kinakausap pa natin yung mga patay. So, bawal yan guys. So, who consults the dead. Anyone who does these things is detestable to the Lord, and because of these detestable practices, the Lord your God will drive out those nations before you. You must be blameless before the Lord your God. The prophet. The nations you will dispose listen to those who practice sorcery or divination, but as for you, the Lord your God has not permitted you to do so. The Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet like me from among your own brothers. Si Moses kasi ito guys. So, prophet si Moses. The Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet like me from among your own brothers. You must listen to him, for this is what you asked of the Lord your God at Horeb on the day of the assembly, when you said, Let us not hear the voice of the Lord our God, nor see this great fire anymore, or we will die. Yun dyan ko. Anong oras na ba? Lasing ko na pala eh. The Lord said to me, kumukulo na yung dyan ko. Ibig sabihin, oras na nang malapit na yung oras natin minto. The Lord said to me, what they say is good. I will raise up for them a prophet like you from among their brothers. I will put my words in his mouth, and he will tell them everything I command him. If anyone does not listen to my words that the prophet speaks in my name, I myself will call him to account. I will call him to account. But a prophet who presumes to speak in my name anything I have not commanded him to say, or a prophet who speaks in the name of other gods, must be put to death. O yung mga bulaang propeta, papatayin din. You may say to yourselves, how can we know when a message has not been spoken by the Lord? If what a prophet proclaims in the name of the Lord does not take place or come true, that is a message the Lord has not spoken. That prophet has spoken presumptuously. Do not be afraid of him. May piyok na tayo guys. Inom muna tubig. Ay. Chapter 19. Cities of Refuge. When the Lord your God has destroyed... Nasundan niyo ba ako? Chapter 19 na tayo. Cities of Refuge. When the Lord your God has destroyed the nations whose land he is giving you, and when you have driven them out and settled in their towns and houses, then set aside for yourselves 3 cities, centrally located in the land the Lord your God is giving you to possess. Build roads to them and divide into 3 parts the land the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance, so that anyone who kills a man may flee there. Kita mo guys, pagka nakapatay ang isang tao, mayroon silang isang place na pwedeng yung parang tatakas ka doon ka pupunta para makatakas, kasi hindi pa nga siya na verdict kas dapat ganun. Hanggat hindi pa napatunayan na guilty, pwede mo na siya mag-refuge. Kaso ngayon kasi sa atin kulong ka agad. Pero ito kasi mas mahigpit, kasi pag napatunayan naman na guilty ka, papatayin ka rin. This is the rule concerning the man who kills another and flees there to save his life. One who kills his neighbor unintentionally. Yun, pag unintention guys. Without malice aforethought. For instance, a man may go into the forest with his neighbor to cut wood, and as he swings his axe to fell a tree, the head may fly off and hit his neighbor and kill him. That man may flee to one of... Pagka hindi nga sadya guys, saka hindi niya intention na patayin, pwede siyang tumakas. That man should kill him. That man may flee to one of the cities and save his life. Otherwise, the avenger of blood might pursue him in a rage, overtake him if the distance is too great, and kill him even though he is not deserving of death. Since he did it to his neighbor without malice aforethought. This is why I command you to set aside for yourself 3 cities. Kaya mayroong lugar talaga guys na mga refuge, mga nakapatay. The Lord your God enlarges your territory as he promised on oath to your forefathers and gives you the whole land he promised them, because you carefully follow all these laws I command you today. to love the Lord your God and to walk always in his ways, then you are to set aside 3 more cities. Do this so that innocent blood will not be shed in your land, which the Lord your God is giving you as your inheritance, and so that you will not be guilty of bloodshed. But if a man hates his neighbors, and lies in wait for him, assaults and kills him, and then flees to one of the cities, the elders of his town shall send for him, bring him back from the city, and hand him over to the avenger of blood to die. Yan guys, hindi siya tatanggapin sa refuge cities pagka, yun dyan ko, hindi siya tatanggapin sa refuge cities pagka ganun. Yung intention ang pagpatay. So, ibabalik siya doon para yung kamatayan din ang kapalit sa kanya. Show him no pity, you must purge from Israel the cult of shedding innocent blood, so that it may go well with you. Do not move your neighbor's boundaries, don't set up by your predecessors, and the inheritance you receive in the land the Lord your God is giving you to possess. Witnesses. One witness is not enough to convict a man accused of any crime or offense he may have committed. A matter must be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. So, kailangan guys dalawa or tatlong witnesses. If a malicious witness takes the stand to accuse a man of a crime, the 2 men involved in the dispute must stand in the presence of the Lord before the priests and the judges who are in the office at the time. The judges must make a thorough investigation, and if the witness is proved to be a liar, giving false testimony against his brother, then do to him as he intended to do to his brother. You must purge the evil from among you. The rest of the people will hear of this and be afraid, and never again will such an evil thing be done among you. Show no pity, life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. So yun. Pero mabigat talaga ang ang parusa nila ng araw. Dito na tayo sa Mark 13 verse 1 to 20. Wait lang muna. Lagyan ko lang siya ng label. Meron na ito. Nilalayo ko guys kasi nga yung mata ko ang hirap makakita. Okay, basa na. Mark 13 verse 1 to 20. Jesus tells about the future. As he was leaving the temple, one of his disciples said to him, "Look, teacher, what massive stones, what magnificent buildings. Do you see all these great buildings?" replied Jesus. "Not one stone here will be left on another. Every one will be thrown down." As Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives opposite the temple, Peter, James, John, and Andrew asked him privately, "Tell us, when will these things happen, and what will be the sign that they are all about to be fulfilled?" Jesus said to them, "Watch out that no one deceives you. Many will come in my name, claiming, 'I am he,' and will deceive many. When you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be earthquakes in various places and famines. These are the beginning of birth pains." Nawa nangyari na yan noon para hindi na mangyari sa generation natin. You must be on your guard. You will be handed over to the local councils and flogged in the synagogues. Nakalagay guys sa verse 9. You must be on your guard. You will be handed over to the local councils and flogged in the synagogues. On account of me, you will stand before governors and kings as witnesses to them, and the gospel must first be preached to all nations. Whenever you are arrested and brought to trial, do not worry beforehand about what to say. Just say whatever given you at the time, for it is not your speaking, but the Holy Spirit. Brother will betray brother to death, and father his child. Children will rebel against their parents and have them put to death. All men will hate you because of me, but he who stands firm to the end will be saved. Sa mga disciples niya ito sinabi, kila Peter, James, John, saka kay Andrew, sa apat niyang disciples, doon sa Mount Olives. So, nangyari na yan guys, wala na sila ngayon eh. ayoko kasing may gira sa panahon natin ngayon. Kaya nawa tapos na itong nakasulat sa Bible na to. Tagal na nito eh. When you see the abomination that causes desolation standing where it does not belong. Kasi buhay pa sila dito, oh. Yung mga disciples na yan, wala na ngayon, diba? So, nangyari na. When you see the abomination that causes desolation standing where it does not belong, let the reader understand. Nakalagay sa verse 14, guys. When you see the abomination that causes desolation standing where it does not belong, let the reader understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let no one on the roof of his house go down or enter the house to take anything out. Let no one in the field go back to get his cloak. How dreadful it will be in those days for pregnant women and nursing mothers. Pray that this will not take place in winter, because those will be days of distress unequaled from the beginning, when God created the world until now, and never to be equaled again. If the Lord had not cut short those days, no one would survive, but for the sake of the elect, whom He has chosen, He has shortened them. Okay, tapos na guys. Hanggang 20 lang tayo. So, yun. I wish tapos na yung mga yan. Panahon pa ni Jesus. Saka ng mga disciples. Nakalagay sa verse 18 guys. So, pray that this will not take place in winter, because those will be days of distress, unequaled from the beginning, when God created the world until now, and never be equaled again. God created the world. Bye everyone. God bless.